Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you're new, welcome and thank you for subscribing and clicking the bell button. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I just do my rusty dusty toes. I wanted to do a whole new set, so right now I just filling off the polish and trying to file down the acrylic a bit so it could be thin, so soaking off my toes wouldn't take much time. So continue watching to see how I just do my toes with acrylic. So for this step right here, I taken some acetone and a makeup remover kind of cotton thing. I can't remember how you call it. And I just put in the acetone on the cotton and I covering my toes with foil paper to help the process and to keep the cotton in place. So you're gonna see me do that with all of my toes. After waiting a few minutes, I'm going to take off the foil paper with a cotton and I'm going to scrape off the acrylic. So that was a smooth scrape off. I scraping it off with a cuticle pusher. My big toe for some reason had a little time coming off because I kind of leave it thick. I was in the mood to really file it down. So the other toes the small toes was easy, but the big toe, it wasn't hard either, but I didn't really take my time, so it did take some time, but yeah. Notice I leave the foil paper on my big toe still because I know it's more acrylic to come off there, so I wanted to give the acetone some more time to help take off the acrylic. But what you want to do next is file off, like file your toenail to help remove the little bit of acrylic that was on and to like take out the residue of the acetone, if you understand what I'm saying. I hate it when my toenails does be long, so yeah, I'm just going to cut down the nails a bit. Here I had to take a pause from doing my toes, went take a shower and everything, so I had to kind of redo the steps. But here I decided to push back the cuticles. In a way, you're going to see me use a cuticle bit. This is my first time using a cuticle bit. I know that they say to help with retention, you gotta use cuticle bits and all of that to like take out the cuticle, the dead skin and stuff like that. But I'm afraid to use a cuticle nipper, so the next step is to dehydrate the nail and then prime the nails, which is the same steps you would use to do a full set of nails. Now for the fun part, we're going to apply the acrylic on the toes. When doing acrylic toes, you want the acrylic to somewhat be on the drier side. You don't want it runny. You don't want it running all over on the toes or anything like that. And especially like if the person don't have much toes to work with and you want to help give them toes with the acrylic, you want it to be on the drier side so that way trying to like sculpt it up, like build it up and stuff like that, it don't be too hard for you. Cause when it more on the drier side, you're able to bring it up like what I just do, because I don't have much pinky toenails and now I have toenails because of the acrylic. So you want it to be on the drier side to help build it up like what I just do. If you happen to bring it out too much, like what I do with this tool, realize I take like the end of my cuticle pusher, I dip it in the acrylic powder, because when you're trying to scrape off the acrylic, you don't want it to stick on the tool. So dip it in the powder so that way it doesn't stick on the tool and you don't have no problem removing the excess acrylic. When doing acrylic tools, number one rule is to make sure your acrylic bead is not on the runny side but more somewhat on the drier side, but not too dry where it wouldn't stick on the nail. Then you want to make sure, especially when you're building out the nail, you want to make sure pass the brush under the nail, the toenail, so that way it doesn't stick on the person's skin and it doesn't have no problem when the toenail is growing out. So for my big toe, I couldn't go with one acrylic bead like I was doing for the other toes, because this brush is a size 8 brush, so it is on the smaller side, and my big toenail is bigger than the rest of my toes, so I had to go in with a few beads of acrylic. But make sure, like I tell all you, have your acrylic bead more on the drier side, because I don't know if you can tell, but my toenails just crack, like it is chip off every time you growing up. This is why I start doing acrylic toes, because I wasn't too for acrylic toes. I just wanted to put gel polish, but every time you growing up, I always cracking, and it would crack with the polish and everything, and it was just annoying me. And when it cracking like that, it was look off, and I like my toes looking nice, neat and square. So I decided to just start doing acrylic toes. But part of my big toenail was cracked, so reason why I say make sure your acrylic bead is on the drier side, because I was able to sculpt out my big toe, make it look fully square and everything, because my acrylic bead was on the drier side. So always make sure to have it more on the drier side, and you want to make sure that the acrylic toes look natural, so don't have them thick. Not because you put an acrylic on your toes mean you have to be thick, like when you're doing your nails, for example. You want it to look natural, so make sure have it more on the thin side, not too thin, not too thick. After making sure the acrylic is dry, you want to go ahead with a hand foil. This one is a 80 to 80 grit foil, but you want to go ahead with a hand foil and make sure file the sides to the kind of shape you want. I like my toes them square, so I'm making sure they square. But you want to file the sides and the free edge. Now that I've finished filing the sides and the free edge, I went in with this very sharp. You have to be careful. If you own one of these, you have to be very careful because you just use these to seal the cuticle, but because it is close to the skin, you have to be careful not to cut the person or yourself, of course. So be very careful with that. You want to go in slow, take your time. You want to go close to the skin, not on top of the skin, and make sure, like I said, take your time with it because you can hurt yourself or your client. So you want to go in with this one and just seal in the cuticle. And when you're done sealing in the cuticle, you're going to take a sanding band, the bit, the mandrel bit with a sanding band on it, and you want to make sure that the nails and them even. So if you could like file your toes or your nails, of course, once you file in the acrylic and it scratch all over, then you know the acrylic is level on all sides, if you understand what I'm saying. So to make sure you didn't lose the shape that you wanted, which is the square shape that I was going for, you can go back in with a handful and make sure that it stays square, because when you put it on the polish also, it could lose the shape a bit, and with the filing it can lose shape somewhat. So if you want to make sure the shape is crisp, make sure you go back in with a handful just to make sure everything still square and sharp like you want it. So for here you could use acetone to clean off the nails, but I like to pass alcohol, so I spray some alcohol on the brush and then wipe it off. But then I had forget to buff the nails, so you might see me go ahead and buff the nails then do this back again, which I'm doing right now. Whenever I do French design on my toes, I like to put a thin layer of top coat, then do the French design and then put top coat, also a thin layer also. Like I say, you want the nails, you want your toenails to look natural, although it have acrylic. So make sure you put the top coat thin before the design and thin after the design. By the way, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can go straight with the design and then top coat it. But this is a technique I learned from a lady called Peaches. She's a nail tech in the USA. Her YouTube channel is Nails by Pretty Face if you're interested in watching it. But I find it easier that way because especially when you're going to clean up the design with acetone, it smooth, it's very smooth with the brush and everything, it's sliding, so I find it easier this way. I think this step is self-explanatory, so I don't think I have to explain are you what you doing here. But when doing this, when you finish, make sure you clean up the sides. And every time I done one toenail, I was curing it for 60 seconds and coming back. So I'm going to skip me curing the nails each time, and I trying for this video to not be long. So I want to apologize to everybody who watched my recent video. For some reason, I put the music more louder than me, so I couldn't tell what I was saying, but I'm sorry for that. But that concludes today's video. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on your post notification. Links to my social media are down below, and I will see you in the next one.